Hey there, soccer fans. Welcome on to this week's episode of Between the Posts. We're joined every single week by Matt, where we talk Premier League, and this week we get to talk 8 Premier League games and an EFL Cup final. So get settled on in, boys. How's everybody doing? How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing great. On a little vacation here in Sanibel Island, Florida. So it's been nice. Just got done with a nice long walk.
Nice. Well, let's help you pay for that vacation. Let's dive on into the action. We don't get any early Saturday action. We get a nice 10 a.m. slate of games going on, and it kicks off between Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. Where, if you look at this Forest team, Matt, 6 straight matches, they've been able to score in all six. We get Villa at home here at Villa Park. This one smells like the classic both teams to score and over 2.5, unless you're seeing something different.
No, that's exactly what this is. Yeah, Forest are a team that have been scoring of late, and we know that Villa's offense can get going. Yeah, this is a pretty easy one. This is a both teams scoring over 2.5.
And we're just comfortable with living with the result because we get 83% both teams to score for Forest, and they're also cashing the over at 67%. And those percentages just flip for Aston Villa in the last six. What about just really any concern though, Matt? And I looked at this and I tried to say, okay, well, how might the over 2.5 might not get there? How about Aston Villa with the fourth best XG allowed when they're at home? The opponents are only seeing 1.09 XG that they are able to create, because that's what Aston Villa allows when they're at home. That was the only pause, or should I just put that pause aside and just say, you know what, the last six is just goals, goals, goals in these guys?
Yeah, the only thing I could see is I wish that the over 1.5 team total wasn't minus 200 right now
Oh, for
on
Villa.
DraftKings
Yeah.
for Villa. I mean, because I do think that they likely win this one. I mean, look at Villa. Most recent, they're winning at halftime and full time at home. They're undefeated here in 21 of 25. Um, but there have been, they've been odd the last three matches at home. They've lost.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so actually what I meant, yeah, halftime, full time losses in all comps in the last three. So, um, yeah, I mean, this one still, maybe what you do here, let's see.
I'm actually glad you brought up the Aston Villa team total, because that's what I was kind of baiting you into right there. Is Villa, like I just said, they've got the fourth best XG allowed at home. When Forest goes on the road, the third worst XG created. I'm nervous that just how good Villa is defensively is going to really be able to stifle Forest here on the road. I'd rather just back Villa, and I'm using that Villa team total perhaps as a parlay piece this week. I trust them. Obviously, there's no injury concerns, there's no Europe concerns. And if you look at what Forrest is doing, everybody is scoring against them against West Ham. I mean, they threw Antonio. We kind of talked about if they were going to throw Antonio in the lineup. He went right in the lineup. He looked like a player who hadn't played in a few months. You don't have those concerns here with Villa team. I just want to back Villa, and I'm really concerned with backing something with Forrest here.
Yeah, I think that those concerns are very, much warranted. I mean, maybe you would pivot to like an over three on the Asian line, just a
Mm.
flat three. But yeah, this one is a little tricky. I agree with you, and I think that there's better options on the card.
Definitely better options. I like this next option where we get to go to the Amex there, where it's Brighton taking on Everton. Obviously, this Everton team struggling. I already listened to Sean Dice's press conference this morning. He says in the next couple days, probably by match day number 27, they'll know if their 10-point penalty is going to go ahead and be appealed successfully or not. And I think that'll really help this club out. They don't really know where they stand right now with that 10-point deduction kind of hung over their head. What I do know is a big concern of them, and we've kind of tweeted or kind of messaged each other back on Twitter sometimes, or even on texting, wherever platform it's been on. Calvert Lewin. His season long XG created is 2.12. Holland's doing some of that shit in one game, and this guy's got a season long XG created. Now, a lot of that is the service that Calvert Lewin is getting. Obviously, he's not getting the great service, but he's not able to pick up the ball, make a few dribbles, create some space in the box, and give him a shot. Season long XG 2.12. All I want to do is back Brighton in this game here at home.
I agree. I agree. I mean, you look at it here. This is a perfect. This is a perfect time to place a bet really on Brighton. I mean, you get a pretty good price here. You can find minus 115s.
On the money line, yeah.
Everton Yeah, Everton haven't scored a goal on the road in their last four matches in all comps. They've won one of their last 12 matches. And then you look at Brighton on the flip side, unbeaten run at home in their last 11. They haven't been beaten here in 22 of 25. So, yeah, we need Brighton to win, but I think it's a pretty cheap price here. So, give me Brighton on the money line.
Brighton on the money line. If you're maybe nervous about doing a three-way wager, you can pivot to minus 120 and do that team total of over 1.5. I see them getting goals and really hurting them. And we talked about Everton. They were going to come down the XG. Matt, they've now fallen completely out of the top 10 in XG created. They're now sitting in the 11th place. So it is catching up with them. And it's obviously headlined right there by Calvert-Lewin, his struggles, the service he's getting. So, yeah, Brighton, I thought when I looked at this card and after I crunched the numbers, I think this was one of the best spots of the weekend if you want to load up. If you think, where's the multi-unit play? I think it's Brighton on the money line here. I really like them in this spot.
Yep.
All right, Matt, let's go to Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace taking on Burnley. Watch out for the manager bump. You do get Oliver Glasner. He's going to come in now. Remember, he was over at Frankfurt there in the Bundesliga. He was actually in charge of Frankfurt when they won the Europa League a couple seasons ago. So this one's got me feeling funny. Obviously, he's only been on the job for a week or so. You saw him in the stands there the other night, Monday night when they were playing. What was that? Oh, that was against Everton. A week long, like how much of his tactics could come into play. But I think Palace over time is going to come out of an unders team and into this overs team with this new manager here in place and the success he had. And then I looked at this one, Matt, and I thought, when I first looked at this one, I said, this is the under, right? You can't find many unders. We successfully found the under on Monday between Everton and Palace and got a relatively easy cash. But neither team has kept a clean sheet lately in their last 6. So I'm thinking goals are on the menu. They're both cashing over 2.5, 83% in their last 6 as well. So what I thought was going to be an under, the numbers are telling me it's going to be an over, though.
I know. This is another one where, like, this one's tough. Yeah, I'm going to lay off this one completely. But, I mean, some of the numbers, like you said, like, Burnley last 4 in all comps over 2.5. Palace have conceded a goal in 14 straight matches. And we talk about Palace so solidly, defensively, but maybe they're not. And their last 3 home matches have had over 2.5 goals seen. So this is just a tough one because Burnley have struggled 4 straight on the road, getting beat. And so, it's a spot where I think, we're kind of looking at this card really, and I'm liking a lot of these home sides, but this one I just can't get around trusting Palace here in this spot for some reason enough. So, and I don't trust the offenses really enough either to like really warrant an over 2.5, even when the trends definitely back it up. So I'm just going to swerve this one.
I was curious what you were going to say because this one's, if I were just to go off stats, I would love that plus 140 price that you're seeing across the sports books. You even see a plus 155 on ESPN Bet for the classic both teams to score over 2.5. Palace is being drugged down in the relegation. And you heard Vincent Kompany this morning say every game's a must win. Like, we just got to full on go for it. Draws aren't going to help us out. We got to go for wins. That should make this game feel a lot more open. I may take a stab before Saturday comes around. I may be taking a stab at this. Both teams are scoring over 2.5 at about plus 150 because with the hits rate of well over 80% for both sides on both teams to score on an over 2.5, nobody can keep a clean sheet. You still got Guehi out. Obviously, Palace is still missing their offensive players, but they're still missing Guehi in the back. I don't know, man. That's a big price on with the stats that look so beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, no, I would. I mean, that's a good price on that. So yeah, I have no issue with that, especially with the trends.
All right, let's go to Old Trafford now, where we got one of the hottest teams in the Premier League, old Man United. They're taking on Fulham here. You get Fulham. How about little difference of styles here? You have the 5th worst XG allowed when they're away. They're allowing 1.81. That's the 5th worst in the Premier League. Old United, when they're at home, they got the 8th best XG created at 1.67. You add in Fulham hasn't scored in 10 of their 25 Premier League games this season, which is league high in the Premier League. I see Man United just keeping it going. And I like the over 1.5 tacked on with the money line that you can get at minus 120. I think they keep it going here at home.
I agree. Yeah, I think this is United are in great form right now, and Fulham, you look at them, their last away matches, 2-2 to Burnley. They lost to Chelsea. They lost to Liverpool. They got blown out by Bournemouth. They had a draw with Everton and got blown out by Newcastle. I mean, they have really struggled on the road. Then you keep going. They lost a 4-3 to Liverpool, 3-1 to Villa. So they have not won on the road. I mean, holy crap. They haven't won on the road since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it's been absolutely dreadful. Then again, I mentioned they've gotten a clean sheet in 10 of their 25. They're absolutely struggling. This is a thing where I think United is going to hit that team total over 2.5 at a very beautiful price. They should romp them. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. This is a United and over 1.5 spot. And yeah, really like United here and really liking some of these home sides. I think that a parlay might be coming.
A parlay might come. I don't think you're going to be taking this next home side, though. Bournemouth is taking on Manchester City. You're trying to back off and now go to the away side here. These teams just played out to a 6-1 affair not too long ago there at the Etihad. Kevin De Bruyne wasn't involved in that one. He's probably not going to be involved in this one. If you listen to Guardiola after their match midweek there against Brentford, he says he didn't play because he felt a niggle in his hamstring, which is really concerning because obviously that's where he was out for 5 months due to the hamstring surgery. So he's feeling something in his hamstring. They may not have Kevin De Bruyne. They didn't have him when they beat him 6-1. I think it's going to be much of the same. Bournemouth's tactics will be much of the same that they were when they were at the Etihad. They're going to dust them and dust them early.
I know this is tough because can Bournemouth play another style, Jason? Like this is where you need them. When you play against Man City, you have to be able to adapt and change your formation, your tactics entirely. They have been pretty good at home though. Like I can see Bournemouth keeping this one kind of closer than the 6-1 because I think that this Bournemouth side, I mean, they generally score a goal. You see, I mean, Man City, they're minus 250 here. I mean, that's not like, I think that you would normally see them priced around the minus 400s.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have here on both teams to score? Both teams to score is minus 150 in this one. Very interesting. And
City's been
then
keeping clean sheets. Or 2 of their last 3 has been clean sheet. Clean sheet against Everton. Clean sheet against Brentford. I told you that was coming. It was hard for probably people to sit here and listen to me based on everybody scoring against City. But if you look at the stats, they're still not creating chances against City. I knew those clean sheets were coming.
Yeah, Man City have won 14 in a row against Bournemouth as well. This is a tough one because I think that Bournemouth can hang here, especially with no KDB. Like I really like Bournemouth's manager. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I think that he's brilliant and he's known. He came from La Liga and he got some big wins against the Real Madrids and Barcelonas of the world and really overperformed with his team there. So and that's what he's doing here. He's getting Bournemouth to overperform right now.
Right.
I mean, they're brilliant this year. So gut feeling here tells me Bournemouth plus 1.5. But man, I really want 2 goals in this one. Yeah,
Right.
I don't know. This one's tricky. Yeah, no real opinion here.
I think City's gonna absolutely roll them. They're now in the oh no, that's never mind. No, say that. I think they're gonna absolutely roll them just like they did back in November. I don't see any real concern here. They're gonna put the men behind the ball even like Brentford did. I mean, Brentford did a good job of really, I think, stifling them through much of that game. But I think Brentford's a little more dangerous on the attack, so they can kind of leave Tony. They didn't have Mape. They swapped in Wisa, but I think they have more. They can afford to put more guys behind the ball with what they have in attack on the counter. I don't know if Bournemouth has that. They're really concerned here for Bournemouth. This could be another beatdown.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think here at the? Let's go to the Emirates here. We can take on Arsenal versus Newcastle. Let me just hit you with these stats, and then you can give me your opinion of this game. How about 11 straight head-to-heads? 11 straight of both teams to score. No. How about 11 straight head-to-heads of under 2.5? Now you're going to get into what's been going on this season and not in the head-to-head. Newcastle, 100% both teams to score, 100% over 2.5 in the last 6. Arsenal, 100% over 2.5 in the last 6. And 3 of the 6 have gone both teams to score. So very different head-to-head versus season-long data and even recent long data here makes me a little nervous here, but I'm going to back the head-to-head here. I don't know if I get to the betting window, but I'm going to take the under in this one. You can get under 3.5 at a good price.
Under 3.5 is where I'm going here. I'm gonna just kind of trust that Newcastle can set up in a pretty nice low block. We know that Newcastle with their goal scorers, I think that Newcastle will be really. I think it'll be tough for them to score in this match. So if I don't see Newcastle creating a ton, and then I think that Arsenal's attack, at times it can be very predictable, and they don't have Jesus. That's been a real problem for them this year. So like, is Havertz going to play in the nine, like, or is it going to be Trossard or whatever they do? It just hasn't really been working. It definitely didn't work yesterday. They looked terrible against Porto on the road. I mean, they didn't have a shot on target or something. It was something like that. And so
Accurate, yeah.
I'm going to just say that Arsenal's offense maybe dips back down because has been so hot since the turn of the new year. But give me under 3.5 here. This is a bet.
I do 3.5. Yeah, I like it. That's the only way to get in on that game with Arsenal's struggles. Obviously, you said they were absolutely abysmal yesterday. They absolutely were. They'll welcome actually coming back in the Premier League because that's when they thumped Burnley and they thumped West Ham. Obviously, a step up in caliber of opponent here at Newcastle. I like the under as well. This one's going under 3.5. I like it as well. All right, Sunday's only got one game. We've got Wolves taking on Sheffield. What are you seeing here, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, Wolves have been great here at home, especially in the head-to-head, undefeated in their last 9 home games against Sheffield. We know that the Sheffield side hasn't been great. They've been conceding. They've conceded 1 or more in their last 12 on the road. So you stack it up all together again, Jason. I think this is a great week for the home sides, and you can see that this price at minus 215 kind of warrants them at home. So it's just how do you find your way in? It's probably Wolves and over 1.5 goals.
Yeah, they should. I mean, they're hotter. They're earning 1.67 points in the last 6, where Sheffield's only 0.67. This one maybe could have goals on the menu with both hitting the over 2.5 at 67 and 83% here in the last 6 of their games. Certainly trust Wolves more than a Sheffield squad, and certainly at the Molyneux. So yeah, probably tacking on over 1.5 feels safe. If you're in the market to bet cards, this is probably the best one on the week. You got the second most and fourth most cards in the Premier League here with Wolves and Sheffield. Darren Bond's your manager. No manager of the Premier League is really that great. He's only had 2 appearances. He's given out 8 yellow cards in those 2 appearances. There was 5 in the reverse fixture, though, and I think that leans on these guys being in the top 4 in terms of season-long cards, respectively, for each of these clubs. So I think goals are on the menu. I think Wolves are definitely going to get the win. I think they were able to cover a team total as well, and maybe this one will be card-heavy as well. So a couple angles you could play there and possibly a same-game parlay. Let's move it over to Monday, and then we'll circle back to the EFL Cup final. West Ham and Brentford. Brentford versus West Ham. Your darlings early this season. Your both teams a score machine. It ain't working for them lately. Did not look that great against Forest over the weekend. Probably a lot of that was probably David Moyes just throwing Antonio back in. I've never seen a guy come off that long of a layoff and go straight into a lineup. I don't know what to make of this one, Matt. It's good to when this one's on Monday. It gives me time to kind of stew over it some more.
I know this one is tough. I mean, who to trust? In this one?
West Ham on last 6 would be 19th in the Premier League. They are loss, draw. They aren't doing anything here recently. They are full on struggling. Kind of would take a stab at the away side, but I don't know.
The one thing you could say, I know, because I think that Brentford right now have more goals in them. I mean, Tony's clicking ever since he came back. Malpe's in form. Then they got Wisa back. So they've got their front clicking. They've played some really tough matches too recently. I mean, they've played Liverpool. They've played City twice. And now you get West Ham on the road. I mean, this one is really tough. I think that the draw is kind of a big runner in this one, don't you? Plus 255 on the draw. I mean, West Ham, one thing you can say, they're undefeated at home in 25 of their last 30. 25 of their last 30. So that's pretty strong. So it's tough to go against either of these sides, and it's tough to back either of these sides. So I would split this one if I had to play this game, which I'm not, but if I did, I would split it right down the middle and take the biggest price, which is the draw.
Yeah, my two probably strongest angles would be actually Brentford on the draw no bet, but maybe even just goals because when West Ham is at home, they're allowing the second most XG allowed at 1.61. So you're going to get chances up against West Ham. You mentioned the firepower that Brentford's got, all the AFCON coming back and what have you, and Tony coming back from suspension. I just trust Brentford to expose what West Ham is allowing opponents to do in front of their goal. So light goals in that one, lean Brentford in the draw no bet market, which is about even money. So I kind of like that one as well.
I know. I was looking. What? Yeah, first look for me was the plus a quarter, but it's minus 150, so I just don't want it. I don't want it on Brentford. So yeah, it's a pass.
Okay. All right, that's it for the Premier League this weekend. Let's circle back and catch that EFL Cup at Wembley on Friday. Chelsea-Liverpool, so we're getting a big boy matchup. We know all the unders that this one has. Hell, you know all the draws that this one has had lately in terms of the head-to-head. You know what I'm leaning on, Matt? I already know what you like in this game. Klopp, Magic, Baby, and you saw it against Luton Town in that second half. They are going, and we've talked about this, that late in games, Klopp Magic on his swan song season, and they're not running it up on Chelsea. But when this is just 0-0 at halftime, and this is 0-0 to 70th minute, it's not going to go to pens, baby. They're not going to allow it to get there. Klopp Magic, something's going to happen. I like Liverpool on the money line.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that you're getting the best price, you can. I would maybe wait. If you're going to bet Liverpool money line, I would probably wait till the very last second before kickoff because I think that's I think that the price when the lineups drop, people will gravitate a little bit towards Chelsea. And where I stand on this one. We've already talked about this one a little bit on some of your past shows. And I grabbed Chelsea early on. They had plus 175 to lift the cup, and now that's been hammered.
That's been nuked, yeah.
So, and then I have some Chelsea double chance at minus 125 because I do think that this one has the potential to go to pens and overtime. So, I'm not really going to change my stance. I hope that there is Klopp magic. I really hope that both of my bets lose, but in a way, I just have to, as a bettor, I think that you have to put your money, where you think, you're going to be able to beat the market on and stuff like that. And, so I have some good CLV in pocket, but that doesn't mean it's going to cash. And this Liverpool lineup, though, I mean, it could be kind of brutal, man. It might be the same lineup. I think it's going to be the same lineup that we just saw against Luton, which you saw in the first half was in disarray. Second half, they were creating and being clinical, but man, this is a step up against Chelsea, who are in form. Like you have to try to like Gakpo against Disasi. That match, I mean, Disasi was unbelievable against Man City. I like unders in this game. When you look at the two, like you look at a Disasi versus Konate and Virgil van Dijk at the back, I think that this one's going to be tight. It's a final. I think that this one's going to be slow. So give me the unders in this one too as kind of a gut feel, just like the last League Cup final. It was a 0-0 halftime, 0-0 full time, 0-0. I had a buddy actually in this one. We went to the bar. This is a great story. He literally turned like $100 into 1,000 basically in one game and I was just right there next to him. And he was like, I was like, I really like the unders in this one. And I cashed, but I didn't cash like he did because he did 0-0. Then he did 0-0, maybe correct score. And then when we got to overtime, I'm like, all right, let's no goals again. And then start taking, penalty stuff. And so, yeah, it was a pretty cool betting day to watch somebody like turn 100 into $1,000.
You don't get the ladder on the under too often, so respect to that man. That man gets my respect. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 of the last 6 have stayed under 2.5. Well, I like Liverpool money line. It's clock magic. I'll be getting to the betting window certainly on the under. The price is getting better, so there's no reason to jump on it now. It's about plus 120. What happened to Salah? Played against Brentford, come off the bench, bagged a goal. Hell, he could have even had a brace. Maybe had a hat trick, but I think he certainly had a brace. Well, and then he doesn't. Now he's on the thing with the thigh injury. Did he pick something up in training?
I know they said that he felt some cramps in the same hamstring area that was. So we know that Liverpool, they're super cautious with us. I can see Salah in this one making the bench. I think that he will make the bench in this one, but I don't know. I really haven't been able to check Twitter or anything and see some updates from some of the Liverpool accounts that I follow and stuff. So um, yeah, he's very much 50-50, I think, to even be in the squad in this one, which would be that really impacts this game. I mean, oh my gosh, that to have Harvey Elliott starting as your right wing when he's definitely a midfielder is it's tricky.
Not ideal. And Nunez is questionable, at least from what I know. He's still questionable.
I think the same goes with him. I think he's 50-50 to be in the squad.
I'm hoping they get healthy. They've got such a good team. They deserve to have some better results here coming down the stretch and send them out a little better, but you never know. I'm going to roll with these 3 bets. So I think City are going to get a goal. Maybe it is tight in that first half, maybe something like that. But at even money, they're going to bag a goal against relegation basically team, even though they're comfortably sitting. United, they're going to get it done. And then Brighton, I think they get it done against Everton as well. Anything you've got?
Yep. Yeah. Arsenal, Newcastle under 3.5. Manchester United and over 1.5. Brighton on the money line. And then that's kind of where I stand. And then I've obviously got Chelsea in pocket, Chelsea to hoist the cup, Chelsea double chance in the cup. And then unders in the cup as well. And then I'm going to probably do a parlay here. I've got it at plus 350. Brighton on the money line, Villa on the money line, United on the money line. 3 home teams.
Wow. Hit me with that third team, by the way. I was talking to Kane in the chat. You said Brighton, Villa.
Brighton, Villa, and Manchester United.
Oh, and United. And that plays 350 for a little 3-legged.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to hit. I actually like those 3 teams at home. Nice little 3-legged. All right. As always, we can always modify and add things to the card once the lineups drop. So just hang with us on Twitter right there. Good luck with your bets this weekend. Good luck. Enjoy that EFL Cup final. And we look forward to getting with you guys back here next Thursday, previewing match day number 27 in the Premier League. So, all right, Matt, enjoy the rest of that vacation. Looks nice and sunny where you're at, my man. Have fun.
Yeah, it is. It's great. So I appreciate it. Thanks, Jason. Thanks for having me on.
See ya.